Welcome everybody to the I-League Season 2 qualifiers. It is the Southeast Asian qualifiers to be more exact, and it's going to be a best of 3 series between G-Guard and Genysis. It's the quarterfinal, I do believe, for it, so 2 more games after this. If you manage to win this best of 3 and 2 more, then you're gonna be qualified for the I-League. Well, but it's rather hard because lots of great Southeast Asian teams already in the qualifiers, of course. And G-Guard versus Genysis. I have had the pleasure of casting those two teams going up against each other once before. It was in the Steel Series Malaysia Cup, where Genysis actually did manage to edge out the victory 2-1 against G-Guard. So we'll see if they can manage to do so again, maybe even 2-0, or maybe G-Guard this time around will get their revenge and be able to actually turn around the previous result. Anything is possible, of course, but unfortunately for the Malaysian fans, one Malaysian team will be out of the running for the I-League. Of course, Team Malaysia already out as it is just because they did forfeit the game yesterday against G-Guard. I do believe some of it was because they had a star ladder match, some of it because some Team Malaysia members, unless I'm mistaken, are going to be standing in for Mineski, who are playing with a rather weird lineup for like some Malaysian cyber games or something like that, I think. So unfortunately, Team Malaysia out of the tournament. Of course, with the recent additions, they weren't like full Malaysian anyway. With a couple from Singapore kicked in as well there, I do believe. But we have an extreme lagger. Winter still unable to connect, man. Southeast Asia, guys. Southeast Asia. That's all I can say. But looks like he has managed to connect now. So we're going to be getting into the draft, getting the first game of this best of 3 underway. And, Genysis up against G-Guard. Starting the draft. I actually don't even know who has the first pick in this game, but doesn't really matter too much probably. G-Guard looks to be the one on the Radiant side, having the first ban, first pick. I guess something like a Tie Dancer would be definitely first pick material. Winter definitely loves that hero, although Winter then again, he also really likes a center war runner, for example. But they do ban out a Naga. And of course Naga, if you just have a decent Naga player on your team, it is so hard to kind of shut down a Naga. You have to play almost perfectly and you have to execute your strategy extremely well. Otherwise, the Naga Siren, yes, might get off to a slightly slower start, but once you get that Radiance, you just start farming up, you start split pushing, and you just make it so that there won't even be fights. Every time the fight is about to break out, you just pop Song of the Siren and then you disengage, something along those lines, and just keep on split pushing. But Genysis also banning out the Brewmaster, definitely also a kind of a mid-game powerhouse. Just Blink, Thunderclap into Primal Split is extremely hard to overcome. But now, what will they ban out next? I mean, what will they want to face least, I guess, is the question here. Death Prophet definitely would be one option, unless G-Guard want to snatch it for themselves as the first pick. Maybe even a Razor, although Razor at the moment isn't all that popular all of a sudden. Finally, thank God to be honest for that, but well, they are taking quite their time deciding on the ban. I mean, I haven't seen enough of Genysis to actually know like if they have any common strategies that they run most of the time. For example, it's like Palkan Bears, you know that you can ban out Meepo and Broodmother every single game and they won't be bad bans pretty much. But they do ban out the Faceless Void in the end. Just removing some massive team fight. If you had something like Tide, Faceless Void and Enigma on the same team, it would be nigh impossible to fight into that. At least when they have their ultimates up. But Tide Hunter does get banned by Genysis, so 2 of the bigger ultimates already banned out, or actually 3, arguably even 4, the Song of the Siren, although it's not that great unless you have the proper follow-up. But yeah, definitely, I guess it's a pretty nice ultimate as well, but I'd say the Brewmaster, Primal Split, the Ravage and the Chronosphere, definitely bigger ones. Or at least can like wreck a team fight more than a Song of the Siren usually would. But G-Guard now, they have the first pick. Do they go for like an Ogre, check hero? Nope, Death Prophet will be it. Going for the more standard choice, I guess. Although it's maybe not as standard these days, but it's definitely a strong enough hero to actually warrant that first pick material for him. So Death Prophet will be the pick. G-Guard, I guess something like a Jakiro might not go amiss as the second pick. Might also be a Vengeful Spirit, for example, especially depending on what Genesis go for. If they do pick up something like a Legion Commander or Bat Rider, for example, then Vengeful Spirit would just be excellent for G-Guard. Not only because of the swap to kind of negate those ultimates, also the minus armor would help out the Death Prophet to deal even more damage with the Exorcism. But Vengeful Spirit, the first pick for Genesis, and second one, will it be Ogre? Do they start with the supports? Or will it be like Vengeful Viper, something along those lines? Maybe even set up an aggressive tri-lane with it? Or, well, I guess there are probably too many options to kind of choose from at this point still, but Ogre Magi, you can never go wrong with that. Especially once you get Aga names on an Ogre, even if played in a support role, you can just kill enemy cores, or maybe if you can't bring them just to 0, at least you can bring them low enough for the others to be able to finish them off. At least if you get a little bit lucky with both of the Fire Blasts. But if you luck out, just luck maximum, and you get double quad Fire Blasts, that's just GG pretty much. But Genesis, they thought about it a little bit longer, but did go for a Razor in the end. So minus armor definitely helping Razor deal damage as well. But all in all, Razor, I mean, I'm not too sure which team it was yesterday, but somebody went for like a safe lane Razor, going for a Midas as well, which just didn't work out in the end because although he had the Midas, he just didn't get enough farms because he wasn't fast enough with just farming last hits. It might have been up against an anti-mage even, I'm not too sure if that was the game, but no, I don't think that was the game, but something similar happened in any case. But G-Guard, they did go for the Jakiro second pick. I mean, I think I said at least before that it might be a possibility for them, and definitely a just sickening combination, to be honest, in my eyes, just because there's the Exorcism, there's the Liquid Fire, and if they go for like any more push, something like a Nature Prophet offlane, they might just be just completely death balling out of control. Although all out pushing strategies aren't all that great these days, just because you have just Glyph every single time a tier 2 falls, or tier 1 falls rather, the Glyph resets itself, the fortification. And also towers a little bit tankier, give a little bit less gold. But Throw Ranger and Phantom Assassin were the bans for the second phase here for G-Guard. Genesis, starting with a Elder Titan ban, and well, with the Elder Titan, the Death Prophet is just pretty much the strongest hero. Exorcism, unless you completely nuke down the Death Prophet, the Exorcism will wreck you apart when you are afflicted by that natural order, of course. So that will be banned out. But Genesis, do they ban out maybe something like a Venomancer? Oh, never mind, Broodmother. How could I forget that hero? I just seen so little of it, it's mostly banned that I kind of forget it. But will G-Guard even go for more push? I mean, definitely something like a Venomancer could be possible. You could even run Venomancer offlane or Jakiro offlane for that matter, I guess. It's not unheard of, especially Jakiro offlane. Some teams actually favor that hero in the offlane position rather than anywhere else. But Genesis, they also need one extra support. Maybe something like a Witch Doctor wouldn't be all bad, although something with some counter pushing wouldn't go amiss either. There's a small chance of a Rubik even, I guess. Fate Bolt is nice for counter pushing. There aren't the greatest abilities to steal so far, but Ice Path is definitely one of the better ones to have for you. But now, come on, Genesis. Do they pick up their offlaner now? The Centaur is still available if they want to go for that one. And Centaur actually isn't all bad against any kind of pushing. Although you would like the heroes to like be melee and actually have to right click away at the tower just because you can get a safer range of initiation. But still, just blink, hoof stomp, double edge into Death Prophet. I really support the idea of going for some kind of support up against the Death Prophet, and they do go for a Timber, so I have to say that this might have been a little bit of a premature Timbersaw pick. I'm more than positive that the Timbersaw could have been picked up later on as well without it getting banned. But G-Guard just went for the Ogre Magi. No hesitation, no nothing there. Just Ogre Magi picked up almost immediately as the third one. But for Genysis, I mean, Timbersaw is nice. I did mention that you would want to have some burst damage against Death Prophet, and Timbersaw definitely has that in spades. But preferably you would also be able to stun the Death Prophet, otherwise it's most likely going to build an Evil Scepter, and Genysis is not going for a Dazzle. So they're going to have minus armor galore. Not only that, of course, they're going to have plus armor for themselves. Shallow Graves to just maybe clutch TP out by somebody. But what's the laning for them? Are they running like dual lanes with Dazzle Timbersaw off lane, Vengeful +1 safe lane, and then maybe Razor mid lane, maybe somebody else mid lane? I guess it's definitely a possibility for them. G-Guard themselves though, do they run the Jakiro as the support? Will it be in more of a farming role? Or are we gonna look at something just completely different entirely? They do have plenty of reserve time though, so it's not like they have to worry about that. A Centaur actually wouldn't be too bad for themselves as well either. They just really like the Centaur. Winter definitely has played it quite a lot in the past. What other offlaners do we have? I guess Clockwork could be a possible pick, although like you power coax yourself in for Static Link, Timbersaw, easy Chakram follow up. But looks like they're not going for anything as easy. They're going for a Weaver instead. Although has to be a little bit careful against the massive burst of Genysis early on, or well, not Genysis entirely, but mostly the Timbersaw. If you just get a few items early on, or once you get that one survivability item, probably going for the Linkens. Although in this game, Linkens is gonna be so-so. You can avoid getting static linked, I guess, swapped or magic missile or poison touched. Not too sure if a Linkens is absolutely worth it though in this case. We'll see with the 5th pick, maybe so, but Genysis banning out a Rubik themselves. Lycan banned out by G-Guard. Lycan definitely does synergize with Dazzle. First of all, the Wolves, the Necrobooks as well potentially. Lots of just Shadow Wave units. So if those units are next to somebody, you Shadow Wave them. They take so much physical damage from the burst. Dazzle actually, if you can surround an enemy with enough units, the burst of a Dazzle is unreal. But do they go for some lockdown now? I mean, they probably have their 2 supports, so it's not that easy to go for. Unless they want to run something like a Lion or Shadow Shaman mid or something along those lines. Which I highly doubt is gonna happen. I would have said that you can try to go for a Wraith King core for the safe lane, but he would just get kited around for days. Ignite by the Ogre, Jakiro with the dual breath, Death Prophet just innately fast with the Witchcraft, probably building Evil Scepter as well to make herself pretty much even faster. Genysis, come on, last pick. Is it gonna be a mid laner or is it gonna be a safe lane core for them? They do go for the Dragon Knight, so I guess it's gonna be Dragon mid lane with Razor Vengeful possibly dual off, or dual safe lane rather, and Timbersaw Dazzle dual off. As for G-Guard, Weaver might be even an offlaner in this case. But if they are expecting Genysis to run dual lanes, they might be running dual lanes of their own, like, or just purely Jakiro offlane. Up against 2 heroes usually does fairly well for himself. And Vengeful Spirit, although annoying, not too sure if he would be enough to get the kill on Jakiro with the help of the Razor, at least not early on. If the Jakiro, of course, given that he stays far enough back. So G-Guard, their own last pick about to come. They supposedly have their 2 supports, needing either a safe lane farmer or an offlaner, depending on how they want to play the Weaver. What could it be? I still think Centaur. That Centaur won't be too bad, but going for a Skyref, so I guess the Jakiro will be in a farming role. And I'm sorry for the small pauses if they happen. It's just probably me yawning. I should have known better that with not the most optimal amount of sleep and going to the gym before casting, or at least before solo casting, is gonna be pretty tiring. But here I am. Just always glad to cast Southeast Asian Dota even if I yawn. It's not because it's boring. It's just because me talking solo gets to my brain. Especially, I mean, gym is tiring stuff. All I have to say, man. Working out is tiring. But everybody is picking up their heroes. Some faster, some slow. Maybe they can't really make up their mind who's going to be the support ogre, who can play the Scarf Mage. They're just trying to argue who has the better skill. Who has the better skill for the multicast. But everybody has picked up their heroes, and here we go with game number 1, guys. If you just tuned in, this is going to be the I-League quarterfinals for season number 2's qualifiers. It is going to be G-Guard versus Genysis in this best of 3 series. And to introduce the lineups, Sharky playing the Ogre Magi, leaving Link on the Chikiro, with TFG playing the Death Prophet, leaving Winter on the Skyriff Mage, and WTF playing the Weaver for the safe lane. As for the side of Genysis, Andy playing the Timbersaw on the off lane, leaving Vexus on the Dragon Knight, 3-4-3 on the Dazzle, Quad A on the Vengeful Spirit, with the last one being Nana on the Razor, so they do have one stand-in. I'm Oh crap. I guess I've been muted all the time. That's awesome, guys. That is freaking awesome. I'm not too sure if I muted myself halfway through or if I was muted all the time, but in any case, thanks for letting me know in chat. I'm a noob, and well, at least you're gonna be able to hear me now as he has reconnected. At least you haven't really missed anything either. So no big deal there. As G-Guard, they are ready. Genysis, they are ready as well. So we're gonna get this game underway once again. But Link already starts with the Liquid Fire Harass onto Nana, as is kind of to be expected. I mean, you're a Jakiro, you are supposed to spam out that Liquid Fire at all times. And yes, spelling my name is pretty damn hard, but thank you guys once again for letting me know that my audio is screwed up. Every now and then, when you're solo casting, you kind of miss those things. Every now and then. At least hasn't happened to me for some time now. Knock on wood. Do whatever superstition you believe in. Oh, sentry comes down. He knows there's a lane ward and Winter does not have sentries of his own. So it's a matter of time before this observer ward will get screwed over. And can he get the last hit for this as well? Yes, he can. So with the 50 gold for the Timber Saw. Not too shabby. Vexus in the meantime did go for the Bottle Rush on the Dragon Knight and has it already as well. And so far actually has the last hit advantage as well over TFG. And oh, look at this cute courier. Oh, this cute courier, dude. It looks freaking awesome. The Summit one, the Husky. What a manly thing to say by me, man. What a manly thing to say. Well, in any case, Ogre will get boxed off from the enemy jungle. He's gonna maybe go for the rune, although Vexus comes in as well, so Sharky cannot really do much of anything. Magic Missile was used as well, but Vexus didn't want to really follow up. Doesn't have a point into Dragon Tail, so it would have been just a pretty much useless chase, with the Ogre having the boots of speed early on as well. If Vexus had boots, maybe they could have gone for it, but even with boots, still pretty slow, just because 290 movement speed base. So top lane, Jakiro 9-1 compared to a Razor's 10-2. Of course, Ogre Magi, well, first of all, he was roaming around, so couldn't really help out Jakiro in that way. But still, I mean, doing rather fine for an offlaner. They are up against kind of a tri-lane, although Quad A hasn't been there for the most part on the Vengeful Spirit. Just trying to be in the jungle, trying to do anything else, just stacking up a little bit. We do have 2 double stacks, so it's always nice to stack up. They don't have like the best creep clear, maybe if Dragon Knight gets 11. Although Breathe Fire, just Plasma Field and Chakram, Whirling Death from Timber Saw, it's gonna be enough if they go at it with like 2 or 3 heroes for sure. So they might just do that a little bit later on. Andy on the off lane, level 2.5, is getting harassed by Winter as much as Winter's just mana pool allows. Concussive Shot, just so annoying to deal with really. Or not Concussive, the Arcane Bolt, but Sharky now might be in trouble. Will they actually go for the Fire Blast into Quad A instead? Shadow Wave keeps them alive, Nana goes for the Static Link, the damage drain. But they don't have any means to actually stun or slow them down. They do even have 1 point in the Poison Touch, but this time around, just could not get close enough. So 4 minutes in, no casts, no nothing happening. And Andy, whoa, never mind. There's only so much a Weaver and Skyr of Mage can do as well. Especially since Skyr of Mage doesn't have any points into Ancient Seal yet. So Timber Saw should at all times be able to Timber Chain his ass away. Unless he drops so damn low that he dies while trying to Timber Chain. But since he has a Magic Stick, that really should not be the case, I believe. Now though, oh, Andy might be in some trouble. Haste rune onto Winter. There's the Crypt Swarm as well. And with the haste, are they going to chase him down? Winter will try another Arcane Bolt. He pops the Magic Stick, gets another Timber Chain, but well, he's going to go down. Winter picks up the first blood. I do believe it was even just a random right click flying after him. And TFG, being level 5 at the time of the kill, had the level 3 Crypt Swarm, had plenty of damage with just connecting 2 of them. So really nicely done first blood. Winter will be able to grab his boots or arcane boots a little bit faster thanks to that. And yes, as I say that, boots, clarity as well as observer wards are coming out for him. Sharky in the winter takes a lot of damage, but they want to go for Quad A in return. Ignite is there, dual breath as well, he's slowed down quite a lot. But they have to back off as Nana comes in. There's the Poison Touch, Plasma Field will connect on Link. but it's just not going to be enough to get the kill on the Jakiro. Jakiro, pretty damn tanky hero. Has 2 tangos left, a healing salve as well, which he might pop maybe after he takes a little bit more harassment, just to maximize the healing coming out from the healing salve. It does restore 400 HP after all. But no. Going in with the static link auto Ling again. 42 points of damage total, which means static link is getting leveled up. It's level 2 even. No points into unstable Currento. So if the Ogre just wants to Fire Blast or Ignite him, at least the Ogre isn't going to get purged himself. But 1-0 G-Guard, they do have the advantage. In the meantime, WTF has gone for the Ring of Elves, so I guess might be going for the Linkans, and if there's a Dragon Knight in the mix as well, Linkans gets a little bit better just because otherwise Dragon Tail is such a long duration stun that it might just be long enough, at least with the help of the Timber, so that you cannot even time lapse away. But oh, never mind, WTF gets harassed by a little bit with the Timber Chain, but there's the Swarm. WTF wants to maybe turn it around, but another Timber Chain will get Andy to safety. Still took just some pretty extreme harassment. Level 4 at the moment, cannot decide whether to go for 2 into reactive armor or go into Whirling Death. Usually you would want to pick up Whirling Death and not reactive armor, but since he's struggling so much on the lane, he actually went for the second point into Whirling Death. But there he gets silenced, so Kuchi through a few right clicks is still alive, but the Arcane Bolt from Winter will do him in. So really nice time, just clean execution as well. 1 point into Ancient Seal was enough, and well, that reactive armor didn't help him too much in that case. If you get bursted down, it doesn't help just because it doesn't have the time to stack up. If you get willed away by like Skyrim Mage's right clicks, which don't do all that much, then yes, you're gonna be fine with the reactive armor. Or like now, WTF comes in with the Chiminate attacks. They don't do that much, but mid lane, DFG, he's gonna go for the kill. One more Crypt Swarm, but he gets Dragon Tail. He might even get turned around upon. He will get the kill, but can he escape this? I don't think so. The tower brings him down. So 3 for 3, getting a lot of XP. And Death Prophet getting a little bit too eager in that case. At least he got the kill before, so Dragon Knight didn't get the XP. But that should have got better. That should have been just a clean kill, not even dying in return. So Dragon Knight, nice turnaround, didn't keep on running. He knew that he is most likely dead no matter what. At least he can bring the Death Prophet with him, which is exactly what he did as well. But mid lane now, Dazzle, he got his level 6, which is pretty early for his support, to be honest. Hasn't gone for a single point in weave yet, but 2-1-3. Top lane though, Sharky trying to angle for something. Looking at the pure last hits, Jakiro 29 and 1 compared to a 36 and 10 on Nana. So Nana doing fairly well for himself. He's gonna go for the mech on the Razor as well by the looks of it. Timbersaw though, he's just forced to go into the jungle and try to farm up stacks. We do have a triple stack, a quad stack in the big one now. A double in the medium one, and the other medium one also a double, so not all that bad for them. They can definitely catch up if the Timbersaw can farm them up somehow. 3 for 3 is around to help out a little bit there with a shallow grave and shadow wave. Man, I'm getting confused up way too often about those. Even Quad A is gonna come in, maybe help out with the wave of terror, I guess. Maybe help out with stacking while the others are farming up the other camp. Or do they want to smoke now? Never mind. They are going for it. Minus armors there. Shadow Wave does even more damage now. They're probably gonna leave or try to leave all the last hits to Andy at least. He's Timber Chaining through as well, which is level 3. So they will be able to claim up another stack. It's even gonna respawn as well. And now that's the biggest challenge. Can they stack it again? And well, unfortunately not, although I would have thought that they can actually. But I need a little bit lower mana. I can get one Timber Chain off, but that's about it. Although what's coming out? It's a bottle, so well, never mind. He should have enough Timber Chains to actually clean this up now. Timber Chain number 1. There's the Shadow Wave as well. Invexes will come in with a Breathe Fire. So they are really 4-man farming, but at the same time, they aren't farming on 2 of their lanes. So committing 4 people to this kind of farm, although yes, you get some nice golden XP for everybody who was involved. If it's split between 4, you're not actually getting that much. I mean, Timbersaw didn't even get level 6 from a quad stack in the big camp. And of course, WTF just keeps on free farming in the Weaver on the bottom lane at the same time. Death Prophet mid lane, fairly free farm as well. So that kind of maybe backfired for them as well here. But TFG, Up to 1.3k gold. I guess Yule Scepter might be next unless it's the drums. Looking at the net worth though, TFG, he's number 1 leading the charts. Weaver is second with Razor and Dragon Knight being tied just with each other, being the 3rd and 4th position. So farm wise, G-Guard doing a little bit better, but not by a hell of a lot. I mean, 10 minutes in, about a 2300 net worth lead. Definitely nice, 1900 or so in XP as well. But it's not that devastating. I mean, they haven't been able to take down any buildings or anything. So until they start doing that, Genysis is just gonna be rather fine with farming up. Nana does get ignited. Still no points into unstable current, so he doesn't run all that fast at this point, 345 movement speed. But the mech is flying out, which is gonna make it infinitely harder to actually get the kill as long as Razor has mana to pop the mech. But mid lane, they're gonna go with TFG. Dragon Tail already ends. 3-for-3 will come in with the poison touch. Chakram to follow as well. Nice silence, but he's not gonna stay alive. Even Quad A came in from the side. Razor also TPing there. I guess they want to go for the tower now with the Elder Dragon form activated. But this gank just... It was 5 heroes for it. I guess it's worth it if you get the tier 1. But with the Macro Pyre and the Ice Wave used, the Creep Wave dies. Of course, there's no backdoor protection on tier 1s. But oh, are they gonna go for the kill? Yes, Link, he gets caught as well. Chakram connected. So that's another kill for them. They will get the towers of Genysis. I guess they kind of like got their core levels. They got the level 6 in Timber, so it's like, yeah, we can go. But they also lose a tower of their own, the tier 1 on the bottom lane. Dazzle gets the last hit for a tier 1 mid. So it's gonna be a 1-for-1 tower trade it is. Of course, still, Genysis coming ahead with the kill. So 3-3 now is the kill score. It's completely evened out. The graphs, more or less the same still. And, well, apart from the XP, I guess, which is 1k. Now, though, Sharky running away from Nana, I don't think they can even catch TFG. It's just way too fast with face boots. 395 movement speed without the Yule Scepter already. And, well, has picked up the Sage's Mask. So it's more than positive. That it's going to be a Yule Scepter for him next. But 3-for-3 and the Quad A, can they find themselves Sharky, for example? Dazzle already has Arcane Boost with the last hit that he got on the tower, but Vexus completely dodged Mystic Flare, and now, oh god, Sharky stun not to Dazzle, but he won't have enough, or will he? WTF comes in as well. He will have the Shallow Grave until he gets silenced. My god, TFG, what a clutch silence. Otherwise, easy Shallow Grave and TP out. Arcane Boots also feast on Timber, so in the meantime can spam out a little bit more, but with the Exorcism, with the Liquid Fire, they want to return the favor. And of course, G-Guard, they can push a little bit more often just because Liquid Fire will always be there, whereas the Exorcism and the Elder Dragon form only every now and then. But Nana, he gets stunned now. Vexus pops his ultimate, stuns up WTF, Chakram to follow as well. They burst the Weaver down before the time lapse happens. That is exactly why you need a Linkens, I guess, up against the Dragon Knight. But TFG now, Exorcism expires, and can he slow him down with the Chakram? He can, but will it even be enough? Face Boots, Death Prophet, it's just way too fast. So a 1-for-1, or was it 0-for-1? I guess maybe G-Guard got themselves a 4th kill earlier on. Can't even recall, man. That's how bad of my memory is, but they're going for another tower of their own. Vexus still has slightly less than half the duration left on the Elder Dragon form. But should it be enough to get this tower down low enough for them to actually secure it, even if the glyph comes out? So they are going for it. They even scouted the forest here, the trees, a little bit with the Wave of Terror of Quad A. But it's going to be another tier 1 down. So they're evening the scores with buildings once again. But Chikiro still with a maxed out Liquid Fire especially can just push all the time. Whereas Genysis, well, they can push all the time as well, but it's just not going to be as effective when Elder Dragon form isn't up. But now, suddenly Chikiro has himself the Yule Scepter finished, so Yule Scepter Ice Path can set them up easily himself as well. Does have a level 2 Ice Path, so it's not as strong as it could be, but looks like he's maxing out Ice Path rather than the Dual Breath, so he's gonna have it maxed out soon enough. In the meantime, Winter looks to be going for a Rod of Athos, has the Vitality Booster to tank up, and they're gonna find themselves with Timber, so can they silence him? Yes, they can, but there's no follow-up slows, no nothing. There's the concussive shot, so damn late. There's the Fire Blast as well, another silence system round from TFG's Death Prophet. So they have plenty of silences to deal with the Timber Saw until he gets a BKB, but looks like that might be a really long time away. 5-4 now, the kill score though. 15 minutes in. They're going for the tier 2 now. Liquid Fire is there. Do they have Exorcism? Yes, they do now, although they don't even entirely need it. They might even try to just pressure tier 3, to be honest. I mean, the double damage will wear off on TFG before they reach the buildings, pretty much, but even so, they have a level 2 Exorcism. They already sent WDF back to kind of slow down the push of Genysis, but they're not going to continue just because they didn't have more or less any vision on Genysis heroes, I guess. But they could have gotten some easy damage done on the tier 3, at least pop down like one Liquid Fire, if not more. They will find a double stack in the enemy jungle though, so that's nice. Yule Scepter finished on TFGS Dazzle While. They find the kill on Weaver. Dragon Tail was involved. So they get the kill, and with this they might even get the tower. So is it gonna be yet another kind of tower trade? Although mid lane, TFG might pop his ultimate to go for the tier 2 of his own. So they might want to just pull ahead with one tower once again. But 60 minutes in, Macropyre, Ice Bath is there. A Liquid Fire onto the creeps as well, but it's not gonna save the tower. Gonna get some last hits at least, but mid lane, Exorcism is there, and he wants to come in, but he's gonna get silenced. Runs away from the Exorcism, just barely gets far enough. Another silence from TFG's silencer. Vexus not gonna be able to catch up. He tried to at least, but Elder Dragon form was used mostly for the kill on Weaver bottom lane and getting a tier 2 down. So they got that accomplished, and now maybe they can even just transition into Roche Pit. They have the Wave of Terror. Wave of Terror? Yeah, it's a Wave of Terror. Yes. For a second I thought like, what? I got the name wrong. But nope. It was correct. I got it confused with something else probably for a second there. But 5 to 5 the kill score. Looking at the graphs, XP only about the 600 difference. Still in the favor of G-Guard, but not by that much. Net worth, about 3k difference. So G-Guard, they are even in towers, in buildings, but G-Guard is just farming a little bit better on Jero heroes. 97 last hits for Death Prophet, 93 on the Weaver. And how close is he to that Lincoln Sphere? Only about 400 gold away. But there's a fight. There's Andy. He's dropping so damn low, and Link will get the kill with the Ice Path. Lands onto 2 Andy. Still alive with a Shallow Grave. Liquid Fire comes out WTF, takes a lot of damage. Magic Missile is there, and he goes down with the last Timber Chain. And Andy, he even survives another Liquid Fire, but it's not going to be enough with the reactive armor swapped out. So he survives once again. Dazzle with the heals, with the Shallow Grave. Just clutch stuff, keeping Andy alive, which in return gave them enough burst damage to kill off the Weaver. So what used to be a 400 gold away from the Lincoln Sphere for Weaver is suddenly about 650 gold away. And with this Timber Saw, picks himself up a Bloodstone Recipe and a Soul Ring as well. Still needs 2 components for actually finishing out the Bloodstone, the Vitality and the Point Booster. Sharky, just Tranquil Wood, Soul Ring, casual Ogre Magic stuff, level 7 only. As is Winter on the Sky of Mage. Really haven't seen any great Mystic Flares so far. They just haven't had the proper setup. They do have, I mean, their best initiation is just Yules into Ice Path, which isn't all that great. Although Genysis, they don't have the best either, like swap in from Vengeful maybe. Timber, so he can just go balls deep, but you would want to have a Blink Dagger usually, either on the Timber or maybe a Dragon Knight in those cases. But they're gonna find TFG, there's the Magic Missile, he gets the Yule Scepter out, but there's no escape after the ult. Immediate Dragon Tail, minus armor is there. Nice Ice Path though. Plasma Field with the Mystic Flare, which gets spread out nicely by a couple of heroes. Macropyre is there, but they pop the mech, a Timber Chain through, and they are gonna go for the Ogre Magi. Sharky, are you kidding? We can't even escape. Death Prophet did make it out. Sharky does get slowed down with the dual breath. Vexus brings him down, but they didn't get the Death Prophet. He actually did make it out. Extremely surprising, but I guess you kind of pay for the lack of lockdown that your team has. Now though, they are going for the Roshan. They might even succeed with the Medallion and the Wave of Terror being, what, level 2, 3? It's level 2. Actually not Magic Missile even. It doesn't scale all that well. I mean, 75 damage per level is nice. But the stun duration, like 0.1 seconds, is negligible kind of. So maybe I would like to see more minus armor and more Vengeance Aura. But Razor picks up the Aegis for himself. Gonna build towards the BKB as well by the looks of it, which Vexus already has finished. 5-man smoke though. G-Guard a little bit too late, but WTF leading the charge. Can they catch anybody at all? If they had Glimpse, if only they had Glimpse, Ogre Club will get picked up now as well. That could have been huge, but the Yule Scepter comes out. Ice Path will follow with the Exorcism, Mystic Flare. Nice swap out, but they're gonna go for Nana anyway. He has, of course, the Aegis, but doesn't want to lose it randomly, which is exactly what happens. But there's the negative armor coming out as well for the Dazzle Weave. Timber, so he goes down first. TFG still alive. Gonna go for Nana. Another Ice Buff. They're gonna kill off the Razor. What the hell is happening? 3-4-3 will be next to Rift. Slows him down a little bit. Exorcism just comes through. He won't even get off a shallow grave. What was this TFG? He gets an ultra kill with a level 2 Exorcism. Oh god. Weave value was not there, or was not enough in this case. Just 4 kills for losing his supports, Skyraf. You couldn't ask for a much better trade. But really nicely done, of course, as well by G-Guard all in all. Just starting the fight like that, Yules into Ice Path. Razor not backing off immediately, just getting swapped back, but still hanging around somewhat. If he had just backed off to a high ground and been like, yeah, screw the tier 2, screw the Vengeful, we're just gonna do this. But not to be Sharky though. Has his invis drone, is on a scouting mission. But won't find anything. Don't think he has enough duration left on the enemies now to actually catch somebody off guard. It's especially hard since Genysis hold their grouped up as 4. They will get the stun on TFG, which won't even get dodged. But there's the swap back as well. They might even catch him, but he should be fast enough. He will step around to the Vengeful now. And he is... yeah, he's safe. Although Ling, Nana finds Sharky rather not Ling. And probably gonna get the kill on Ogre as well. Ogre, if you turn around the Fire Blast, you're gonna get unstable currented, so... Although that would have been probably a better chance. Maybe Ignite Razor up, I don't know. But yeah, there was no good, just... no way to go about this if you're the Ogre. So they're gonna lose their tier 1 now, I would assume. Crit Swarm's trying to slow things down, but the tower will go down anyway. Timber Chain through. Just, I guess, maybe wanted to scare off anybody who might think about contesting this or trying to go for a deny. But Vexus still has a BKB, it's still 10... no, never mind, it's down to 9 seconds now, but still a pretty long time. Concussive shot onto Andy though, can they get the silence? No they can't, but on Vexus, it is their BKB, pops the Dragon Tail. TFG is taking way too much damage, pops his own BKB with the mech coming out as well. They want to go for Vexus, but the BKB will allow him to just TP out. Yules for catches Vengeful. Ice Spell to follow Quad A. Will he really be the only casualty with TP out from Andy? It's gonna be enough. Death Prophet Yules himself. 3-for-3 TP'd out as well. So they only get the Vengeful, yet they use the Exorcism. That's a pretty nice little win even for Genysis, to be honest. Plus they also got some pretty hefty tier 2 damage down. "23 minutes, 10 to 10 the kill score. Looking at the graphs, a 10k, or not 10k, a 2k net worth lead. XP about 2k as well. So G-Guard, although they're ahead, it's not that comfortable of a lead. Although late game wise, it's actually hard to say who has the upper hand. I mean, Timbersaw can be an absolute beast late game just because he's kind of unkillable with the correct items. With double Chakram also does a crap ton of damage. Dragon Knight ain't that great, but I guess with the Razor, Dragon Knight and Timbersaw being on the side of Genysis and just the power of the Vengeful with, I guess, Vengeance Aura maybe not as impactful this game, but Dazzle, especially if he should somehow get a Aghanim Scepter, which he's building towards. That weave actually does so much for their own survivability if you get it onto the enemies, for your just ability to kill them off with physical damage. And Dazzle himself, for example, is all physical. The Shadow Wave as well as the Poison Touch both are physical damage spells. Dire Courier though did get sniped by WTF by the looks of it. Is he going for a BKB next? Sure, looks like it. So he's been forced to go for double defensive items, and it might hurt them quite a lot since they need him to output a little bit more damage in the fights, I think. Of course, Exorcism is nice as well, but as we saw from the last time, they just ran away from the Exorcism. But we are 24 minutes in. Another tower falls, the tier 2 mid lane this time around in the favor of Genysis. Ling was trying to split push top lane, but had to back off just soon thereafter. 3-for-3 might even run into the Chikiro. Chikiro trying at least to farm up the enemy jungle. Maybe a little bit greedy, maybe will get punished heavily. This will be an illusion coming in. So I think Ling, yeah, he should be safe with the positioning of Genysis' heroes. But TFG up to 2.8k gold, man. They're just getting so much done. Like, it's not even funny how much they're accomplishing at this point. It's just this death profit getting pretty huge, and although death profit might fall off, especially up against the Dazzle Weave later on, once the Aghanims comes out on the Dazzle as well, they just kind of have to take advantage when he's the strongest. Maybe they're waiting for WTF to get his PKB, but if he gets his PKB, I would hope for them to actually properly fight as well. Otherwise, you go for Linkens, you go for BKB, yet you're like trying to split push and not fight. That just won't make any sense to me. I guess you can make sure that if you split push as a Weaver and you have a Link as a BKB that you're not gonna get picked off. But I don't think that would be the correct choice to just, or the correct way to play this game. But Sharky does have the level 1 Bloodlust to boost up WTF a little bit as well, with the movement speed and attack speed both, of course. TFG 3.4k gold, can be a Shivas, can be the Heart of Tarask, can be maybe even a Hex. Actually, Hex wouldn't be all that bad against Timbersaw, especially since Timbersaw still does not have his Bloodstone. But once he gets his Bloodstone, you can just Hex him up and maybe even focus him down. Once you just start removing those Bloodstone charges, it becomes really a dead weight item on you. Or at least for that amount of gold. And he kind of needs those Bloodstone charges to have enough regeneration to support the double Chakram later on. WTF? No, never mind. Went to the high ground, immediate Sukuchi out as well, taking no chances at all. This game though is a fairly passive one, I have to say. Both teams just trying to push now. A sentry comes down, Season of Server Ward. They bring it down. Jakiro has picked up a Blink Dagger in the meantime. Mech, Yule's Blink. BKB down on Weaver now as well. TFG is going for that Mystic Staff next, which is going to complete up his Shiva's card, which is only 300 gold away. So it's pretty damn close to it. Like, get this camp, get another creep wave, and pretty much he's going to have it. So Shiva's card will be a nice pickup. Reducing the attack speed of Genysis, I guess it's not that scary at this point. Dragon Knight might even be the scariest with the splash of the level 2 dragon. But also, it's a slow and AoE damage. 200 damage I do believe with the Ice Blast, or whatever it's called. Arctic Blast, something like that. Arctic Burst, I don't know. But in the meantime, WTF trying to split push mid lane slowly but surely. I mean, he has the Linkens, has the BKB, so he should be fine from like any kind of initiation. But the smoke comes out, Timbersaw finishes up his Bloodstone at the same time, more or less. A 3-man smoke. Are they going into Roche? Are they trying to hunt for kills? The best kill they might find is Ling, who is out of position at least in terms of where the gank is coming in from. So I'm pretty certain that Shakiro's plan is going to be screwed unless he can blink out, which he does exactly now. Blinks into the river and will get himself an injury zone. Oh no. That was their best bet, so another smoke just kind of not accomplishing anything at all. Mid lane though, oh god, they popped the Exorcism, which is level 3 as well. They force the TPs back and he gets silenced, though can't do anything. Mystic Flare, nice swap out. They save him with the mech for a little while longer. He has to survive this. Tries to kill off the Swarm. A nice Ice Buff as well. WTF still alive, will get his BKB, has to Sukuchi away. Timbersaw ends TFG's life. So it's a support vengeful for a Death Prophet. That is favoring Genysis so heavily. Plus they get the slow on Winter as well. Vexus gets the Breathe Fire. They are gonna kill off Winter now. Vexus is dominating on the Dragon Knight. It looked pretty good to start with, but they could not finish up Andy. So instead of losing Bloodstone charges, he gained 2. So that was extremely clutch. Right, really nice turnaround from Genysis as well. And Weaver, even with the BKB and Linkens, he just couldn't do anything at all. So this Weaver just going for double defensive items and probably the aggressive item like a Desolate or something like that won't come out for quite some time yet. Although looking at the farm numbers, it's still not all bad. About a 5k now, dropping down a little bit. Net worth lead for G-Guard. XP 3200 or so as well. So they're still in the lead, but Razor now also has a BKB with the Aghanims finished on Nana. Level 3 Static Storm for him. Not Static Storm, but I'm saying Eye of the Storm. Static Storm is Disruptor as WTF. Takes a lot of damage, but is of course fast enough. With the Tsukuchi, hasted movement speed. Nothing to slow you down. AC finished in the meantime on Dragon Knight, so they're getting more items. Plus, they're gonna have that level 3 Frost Dragon, the Elder Dragon form level 3. In less than just 1/10 of a level. This Weaver though, what has he purchased up? It is a Mithril Hammer. Gonna bring it out immediately to him as well, just to get any kind of extra damage going. And they might find Nana now, but with him having a BKB, it's a lot harder. If you had a Desolator, you could probably still chase him down as a Weaver. Although chasing down into a level 3 Aghanim's Eye of the Storm, that is also a rather scary thing to do. So 11 to 12. Just, we love to farm, guys. We love farm games, don't we? Farming games, best games. According to some people at least. But the swarm comes through onto 3 heroes. They're just gonna get farmed up for the most part. But 31 minutes. Nothing much is happening until Roshan. They're trying to go for the pop, even pop the Exorcism. And that's the one downside of running a Death Prophet in general. Exorcism, although it's just great for really any purpose. Exorcism team fights or Roshan team fights pushing. You will only have one of them until you get the refresher roll, of course. So usually when you go for like a Roshan, there is almost no chance for you to get an objective after that as well, with the same Exorcism at least. But he has the Aegis now. BKB, Shivas, Aegis, Yule Scepter. Should be extremely hard to kill him twice anyway, to be honest. Just such a slippery hero with his movement speed and Yules. He's the highest farmer still in the game as well. Looking at the last hits, 203 compared to the 202. Razor though catching up slowly but surely as well. KDA, Razor died only once, same with the Dragon Knight. Timbersaw still below the Chikiro as well, but he's getting there, has a Blade Mail finish now. So not doing all that bad, in all fairness. And Andy gonna Timber Chain away before TFG finds him. Does want to play it safe. I mean, since Andy does not have a BKB yet, you can just get silenced by Agent Seal. The silence, which is called silence from the Death Prophet. Is it 6 seconds really? My god, 6 second duration. I guess it's the same for Ancient Seal, right? No, Ancient Seal is 5. Starts with 2, 3, 4, 5, right? No, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why I thought 2, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. I have no idea. 6 seconds is, to be honest, too long of a silence. You kind of like have to go for a BKB or at best a Lincoln Sphere to counter those. And they have 2 of them. You get rid of one of them, and once your BKB expires, the other silence will follow almost immediately. Plus Ancient Seal, of course, even boosts up the damage you take. Then again, Death Prophet silence is AoE. So if it would also do anything but silence, it would just be too ridiculous of an ability. But WTF has his second Mithril Hammer, so actually his Desolator won't be all that slow, just because they are helping the Weaver farm up the Ancients and, well, pretty much everything else. So there's gonna be a Desolator finish now. There is almost no doubt that it's gonna be the said item. And he does purchase up a recipe, and the Desolator is flying out, so the pushing speed is even faster, and they already have the Exorcism. I guess they have been farming for like 2 minutes after they got the Aegis. It didn't feel that long this time around, but I guess it has been that long of a game. And with the Exorcism, with the Liquid Fire, it should be an easy tower. With Weaver finally coming back in, I guess the courier was a little bit too slow. But they're going for racks, and TPs are just now starting to come back. But anyway, it's the Weaver coming back. They have to defend their own racks. They are playing a game of chicken. Eye of the Storm doing in the melee racks. They might even get it until WTF comes in. Vexus gets stunned, pops his BKB, Dragon Tail into WTF. Ice Path to follow, they don't care. They bring down the Weaver, no buyback for him. They get the melee racks. But mid lane, counter racks. Yes, Death Prophet brings down the ranged one. Is he gonna get the melee though as well? He kind of needs to Shiva's card activated, but 3 for 3 comes in. Poison touches there, Chakram as well. TFG, BKB, silence. Not carrying a TP. He has the Aegis, but he might just die twice unless he's careful. No, we're gonna back off for now. Yule Scepter onto Timbersaw to make his escape, which will succeed, but Razor in the bottom lane in the meantime. They found the Chikiro. So Genysis still coming out ahead, getting more kills, killing off Weaver, the most important part, with him just having purchased the Desolator. And that's just Weaver not activating the BKB in time. Just getting Dragon Tail and all that was the end of him. As TFG, he got slowed down by Andy, but he got the silence off with the Shiva's card. TFG should be in the clear, but look at this Genysis. Another Eye of the Storm is there, full duration, just such a low cooldown. Vexus gets multicasted. There's the Mystic Flare as well. He might even die, and exactly what happens. My god, Winter, the damage coming out. Level 2 Mystic Flare with the Ancient Seal boosting everything up. Now the stuns onto Nana, gets another multicast. The slows are there, but he pops his BKB. Andy wants to go for TFG. Does not connect with the Chakram, so that's gonna be the escape for them until there's another multicast, a 1-1 for Sharky. They bring another hero down. At least Genysis get the tier 3 mid lane, but that was a really costly tier 3. So Genysis definitely gonna be happy, or Chi-Guard will be happy with what just happened. 13 to 14 the kill score. Looks like Chi-Guard, they want to go and finish their melee racks of their own. Timbersaw will be respawning with 6 Plaston charges, which isn't that much, but still about a 3k lead in net worth for Chi-Guard. XP has dropped down to 800 or so. As Andy looks like he wanted to go chasing for a little while, but decided to back off in the end. Nice, AAA, 1600 in the bank. Face boots even picked up on the Vengeful. Not the most common of items to see unless you're like a carry range, which this quad 8 definitely isn't. I mean, lowest net worth for him in the game. But Genysis, they are also coming back towards mid lane. They have the Elder Dragon form, AC, they have everything. Eye of the Storm is ready. Almost a Refresher Orb done on Nana. So they went in, melee barracks first, the Glyph is on cooldown still. Ice Path is there, Link, he's gonna get burned down immediately. TFG pops his BKB with the Exorcism, but will he even have enough? No, the physical damage is too much. The Weave ticking him low with the Medallion of Purchase as well. Can anybody keep up with the pace of TFG though? Doesn't look like it, he does survive. Thank god for them. In the meantime, Vengeful Spirit did lose his life. Mystic Flare will get dodged for the most part until Andy went in with the Blade Mail. Now there's the Shallow Grave as WTF came in with the right clicks. He's gonna make them back off. Vexus though, will he go for it? Never mind. There's the time lapse out. Vexus a little bit too low on mana to actually even stun. If he had Dragon Tail mana, things could be that much easier. But his BKB on cooldown, they just want the racks at this point. And they are willing to sacrifice themselves for it. So they get the melee racks down. Nana on the run, but Chakram slows down TGF, WTF. Not too healthy either to keep on going. So that's another one fight for Genysis. They are now a melee and range racks ahead. Or never mind, they're 2 melee racks ahead, my bad. Chi-Guard only managed to destroy this Radiant one, and that's a Blink Dagger gonna be delivered to the Dragon Knight. So Blink, Dragon Tail, extremely just strong combination of abilities and spells. Or item spell combination, I guess. Death Prophet though, does he have his Refresher Orb? He is rather close to it, but he had to buy back, so of course does set back the item progression a little bit, but we'll have the double exorcism, which is going to be excellent, but he just has to make sure that you do not get affected by the Dazzle ultimate, or if you can at least, especially that the Dazzle ultimate is again with buff now as well. You have to stay clear of that, but even then, there is the AC, lots of magic physical damage coming out from the Razor as well with the Eye of the Storm. As Razor gonna have himself his own Refresher Orb if he just wants to purchase it up. And at the moment, if Genysis win themselves another great fight like they have with the past couple of ones, it just might be GG with third set of racks. All the outer towers are down, so they don't necessarily even have to push in top lane, for example. But looks like Chi-Guard, they want to Death Ball off their own. TFG, he has his ultimate ready. Refresher Orb is not flying out. Oh, never mind, yeah. I also for a second like didn't have more gold, but that was a wrong hero. But there's the Blink stun onto TFG. Nice force of way. WTF pops his BKB, wants to go for Nana, but Nana too damn tanky. Multicast, 1-1 onto Vexus. Didn't pop his BKB for some weird reason. Otherwise would have been a kill onto the Weaver, I would assume, but they're not going to be able to catch up to anybody. Vexus is Elder Dragon form now on cooldown as well, so they're just going to push out the lane instead. So that really didn't go the best. Sometimes it's nice to pop a preemptive BKB, but oh, Vexus might still go for it. No BKB once again. There's the Mystic Flare. Shallow Grave keeps him alive. But what's he doing? Where's the BKB, man? TFG pops his own ultimate. Has to escape from the physical damage for now. And it does clean up. Weaver has to buy back into the game and time lapse into the fight. Ice Pep onto Andy now though. More stuns coming. Andy still alive. The Blade Mail does not help too much. And Timbersaw buys back. The Dragon Knight doesn't have buyback though. Magic Missile dodged by a Blink. So G-Guard, they escaped now. It was their turn to win a fight, I guess. It was really Vex's just 2 times in a row not popping a BKB. He just ran into the ice path as well there. That was a little bit questionable, but now it looks like Genysis, they still want to ball down mid lane themselves. Although they don't have boots of travels on the Dragon Knight. Maybe they just want to push out a tad, or maybe them knowing that Exorcism will be on cooldown. It might be enough for them to just try to go for the range racks with the Eye of the Storm. Roshan's still not up. It's going to respawn in about a minute and 10 minutes, 15 seconds or so. My god, how many freaking scammers are there on Twitch? How many freaking scammers are there on Twitch? Always just linking some random stuff. But Link might be in trouble. Can Andy get close enough? If he had his own blink with the haste rune, he might even get close enough anyway with Link. Never mind, he blinked out now. This could be fine. Plasma Field comes out to Hulei. Whoa, why didn't you go for the swap? I guess too many heroes are coming from inside WTF. Silence completely missed from TFG. Mystic Flare kills off Quad A. But will they have enough free for free? Shallow graved up, but he's going to go down to the Swarm once it ends. Multicast as well. WTF on the run from Nana. Eye of the Storm still going for a little while. Has the Refresher Orb if he wants to use it. There's the Refresher. Double ultimate as well. Is he going to pop his PKB? He's waiting for the WTF. He's on the run now. Gets the Sukuchi away. Another nice Ice Path. They do lose the Death Prophet though. Nana used both of his ultimates as well. So it's not all bad for G-Guard. Although Genysis definitely would have wanted to get the Weaver kill on WTF as well. They were just barely short of it. But now, 18 to 19, looking at the scores, about a 1k net worth lead. About 800 XP lead for G-Guard still, but that lead is nothing, especially since Genysis, they are getting Roshan now by the looks of it. And with the Roshan, with the Aegis, it should be the second Rosh, I think, right? Oh, it's the third Rosh already, never mind. So it's gonna be Cheese and the Aegis both. I think Cheese to Dragon Knight and Aegis to either the Razor or the Timbersaw. Oh. I really like Cheese on Dragon Knight more. I guess maybe they're a little bit afraid of him getting stun locked and Mystic Flare down once again or something. But if you have Elder Dragon Form activated and you die and come back with the Aegis, you're not gonna have the Dragon Form anymore. Whereas if you pop the Cheese, you can just keep on going. So probably would have liked to see Cheese on Dragon Knight more. Maybe they wanted to give it to somebody else, but the others were already backing off. Nana's like, nope, got to carry my TP, guys. And Timbersaw was just like, screw you guys, I'm going home. So 43 minutes in. Everybody loves farming, my god. When I'm at my most tired, I'm getting a freaking farming game. I guess it's not all that bad. We have 37 kills, but it doesn't feel like an action-packed game at all, I do have to say. In the meantime though, an AC finished up on the Jakiro, so it's going to completely negate the AC that Vexus picked up a couple of minutes ago. Although with the weave on them, they can just go anywhere at all. I mean, just look at the armor coming, ticking up and up and up on Dragon Knight. He's sitting on 55 soon enough. So how much is he going to tick up to? Like 80 altogether, so plus 70. Oh no, not that much. Okay. Not quite. It was like 62 plus, I think. So that's 11 plus 60. 73 armor at one point. But even without them having the weave, he's still sitting on 38 armor. That's just silly. Straight out silly. Mid lane WTF wants to go for something Andy. Has Boots of Travel, so he can just counter push and join if need be. Now though, Macropyre is down, Andy gets caught in the Ice Path as well. Activates the Blade Mail, Vexus does blink out, Ignite follows him anyway. Shadow Wave keeps them a little bit more healthy. Andy trying to bottle up as well. So 18 to 19. 44 minutes in. Will this be the last set of racks going down? Range rack still alive mid lane, but if Genysis win a fight now, this might all be over. But Vexus has to be careful. It's gonna pop his BKB Link. He gets stunned immediately. Chakiro can't do anything at all. The Chakram comes through as well. His AC is no longer there. AA does swap back. WTF who's just gonna Sukuchi away. No stuns to bring him down, but well, Death Prophet TFG not gonna be as lucky probably. Breathe Fire used, and oh, Winter does force Death away, but they don't care about the kills, and this is GG called. G-Guard have to tap out in game number 1 Genysis. They take a game 1 advantage. We'll see if G-Card can tie up the series or not, but just well played by Genysis, and we were forced to go for defensive items, yet even with those defensive items not being able to actually properly stay in the fight, it's just pretty much no good, guys. But having said that, this is a best of 3, so G-Guard can definitely come back and turn things around. If not completely around, at least get us to a game number 3. But guys, having said that, hope you enjoyed the game and the cast. Apologize for my microphone being muted at the start. Hopefully not gonna happen again, but still, hope you enjoyed it, and see you for game number 2.